Hello, and welcome back to English Joy.
Hi, everybody. We are so happy you are here with us today.
Hi, everyone. It's so good to see you.
I'm Alex.
And I'm Mia.
So, Mia, what are we going to learn today?
Stop being awkward. 5 small talk tips for work.
Have you ever walked into the office, stood next to a coworker in the elevator, and suddenly felt your mind go completely blank?
You know that moment when you want to say something, anything, but the words just don't come out?
So, you smile. Maybe you nod. You check your phone like there's an urgent message waiting for you.
And the elevator moves in silence. 10 seconds, 15 seconds. It feels much longer than it really is.
Later that day, you replay it in your head and think, why am I so awkward in English at work?
Here's the truth. You're not awkward. You're not bad at English, and you're definitely not alone.
Most people were never taught how small talk actually works in real workplaces.
Especially in English, especially with coworkers, especially when you don't want to sound stupid or make mistakes.
In this video, we're going to show you 5 simple small talk habits that professionals around the world use every day.
These are not scripts. You don't need perfect grammar. You don't need big vocabulary.
You just need the right approach.
And if you stay with us until the end, the last habit will completely change how you feel about speaking English at work.
Hi, I'm Alex.
And I'm Mia.
We hope international professionals speak English naturally at work, without forcing conversation or memorizing lines.
Small talk isn't about being funny. It's not about being interesting.
It's about connection. It's about feeling comfortable in short, everyday moments.
And once you understand that, English at work becomes much easier.
Let's start with the first habit, and this one is powerful because it removes pressure immediately.
Most people try to start small talk by talking about the other person.
They say things like, "How are you?" or "How was your weekend?"
Those questions are polite, but they often stop the conversation instead of opening it.
The other person gives a short answer. "Good," "Fine," "Busy," and then silence again.
Instead, confident speakers start with the situation they are both in.
The weather, the office, the meeting, the day.
This works because you're not asking for personal information, you're sharing the same moment.
Imagine you're waiting for a meeting to start.
You don't need to ask a question. You can simply say, "This meeting room is freezing."
Or on a Monday morning, Mondays always feel longer than Fridays.
Or when something finally works, "The coffee machine is working again." That's a good sign.
These are simple comments, but they invite a response.
Your coworker can agree. They can laugh, they can add one sentence.
And suddenly, you're not awkward anymore. You're just having a normal moment.
Try this line in your head right now.
This project feels busier than last month.
Say it calmly. You don't need to rush.
Then pause. Let the other person respond.
That pause is important. Small talk is not about filling every second with words.
It's about opening a door and seeing if the other person walks through it.
And once you stop putting pressure on yourself, speaking feels much lighter.
Now let's move to the second habit, and this one is a big mindset shift.
Confident speakers use comments more than questions.
Questions can feel like interviews.
Comments feel like sharing space.
Think about this. If you ask, "Did you have a good weekend?" the other person has to perform.
They have to think of an answer. Sometimes they don't want to explain.
But if you say, "The weekend went by too fast," you remove that pressure.
Now your coworker can agree. Yeah, way too fast.
Or disagree. "Actually, it felt pretty long."
Or add a small story. I worked most of the weekend.
You didn't force anything. You just made it easy.
Here are some comments native speakers use all the time at work.
"It's been a busy morning."
This weather doesn't feel like spring.
"That presentation was clearer than the last one."
Notice how natural these sound. They're not impressive, they're real.
You're not trying to be interesting. You're trying to be comfortable.
And comfort is what people respond to.
In the next part, we'll show you why saying less actually makes you sound more confident.
And how knowing when to end small talk can completely remove that awkward feeling.
A lot of people think the problem with small talk is that they don't know what to say.
But most of the time, the real problem is that they don't know when to stop.
Confident speakers understand something very important.
You don't need to continue the conversation.
You don't need to keep talking until it feels perfect.
In fact, the longer you force small talk, the more awkward it becomes.
That's why the third habit is simple but powerful.
Keep it short and exit early.
Say one sentence.
Listen to the response.
And then leave politely.
Let's imagine a real situation at work.
You just finished a long meeting and you're walking out with a coworker.
You could say, "That meeting was intense."
Then you pause, let them react.
They might say, "Yeah, it was," or "Totally."
And that's enough.
You don't need to explain more.
Now you exit.
Anyway, I need to get back to my desk. Catch up later.
That's it.
You sounded professional,
You sounded confident.
and most importantly, you didn't sound awkward.
Ending the conversation early actually makes people respect you more.
It shows you're busy, you have purpose.
Small talk is not the main event.
It's just the bridge between tasks.
When you understand that, the pressure disappears.
Now let's talk about something that makes many people nervous at work.
Choosing the right topic. Some topics feel risky, others feel safe.
Smart small talk always stays in the safe zone.
At work, safety is power.
Safe topics are things everyone can relate to without emotion.
Workload, schedules, projects.
Deadlines, meetings, the office environment.
Neutral events that don't involve opinions or feelings.
For example, you can say, "This deadline came quickly,"
Or next week looks busy.
or "That task took longer than expected."
These sentences sound natural because they're true.
You're not complaining, you're not blaming anyone.
You're just stating reality. And that's exactly what native speakers do.
What you want to avoid are emotional or personal topics.
Politics, personal problems, complaints about coworkers.
Even strong opinions can make people uncomfortable.
Remember, small talk at work is not about being close friends.
It's about being easy to work with.
When you stay in safe topics, you protect yourself.
And you make the other person feel relaxed.
Now we're getting closer to the most important habit.
This is the one that changes how you see your English.
Many learners think confidence comes from vocabulary
Or grammar.
or sounding like a native speaker.
But that's not where confidence comes from.
Confidence is energy, not vocabulary.
People don't remember your grammar mistakes. They remember how you made them feel.
Let's compare two sentences.
One person says, "Busy week," with a calm voice and relaxed body.
Another person says, "It has been an extremely demanding week," but sounds nervous.
Which one sounds more confident?
Always the first one.
Short sentences, slow speech.
Relaxed tone. That's what confidence sounds like.
Native speakers use simple language all the time at work.
They don't try to sound smart. They try to sound clear.
When you slow down, people listen. When you relax, people relax with you.
And suddenly, English doesn't feel so scary anymore.
In the next part, we're going to practice together. You're going to speak out loud.
And you'll feel how simple, natural English should feel at work. Now let's do something different.
Don't just listen, speak with us.
If you're watching this on your phone, that's perfect. You can practice quietly, or you can say it out loud.
There's no pressure, no one is judging you. This is how confident speakers are made.
We'll say the line first, then you repeat it.
Keep your voice slow and calm. Ready?
It's been a busy week. Pause. Now you say it. Good. Let's do another one.
This meeting feels longer than usual.
Pause. Say it slowly. Nice. One more.
Anyway, I should get back to work.
Pause. Say it with confidence. Perfect.
Notice something important. You didn't use difficult words,
You didn't worry about grammar.
but you still sounded natural. That's real workplace English.
Now let's put everything together in a natural conversation.
Imagine two coworkers meeting near the coffee machine.
Hey,
Hey,
it's been a busy morning.
yeah, it really has.
This project feels busier than last month.
Definitely. The timeline is tight.
Anyway, I should get back to my desk.
Yeah, same here. Talk later.
That's it.
No pressure, no awkward silence, just simple, natural English.
And that's what most conversations at work really sound like.
You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to impress anyone.
You just need to be present.
Now, here's something important we want you to remember.
If English feels hard at work, it's not because you're bad at English.
It's because no one taught you these small habits.
Once you understand them, everything changes.
The fear gets smaller,
The confidence grows.
and speaking becomes normal, not stressful.
In a moment, we'll wrap everything up. But before we do, think about this.
The next time you're in an elevator, a hallway, or a meeting room,
You don't need to escape the silence.
you can own the moment.
One sentence is enough.
And sometimes that's all it takes.
Stay with us for the final part.
We'll bring everything together and show you how to keep improving from here.
Let's slow down for a second and talk directly to you.
If you're watching this during your lunch break, on the bus, or before bed, this part is for you.
Most people tell themselves, I'll speak more English when I'm ready.
But the truth is, confidence doesn't come first.
Action comes first.
And small talk is the safest place to take action.
You're not giving a presentation.
You're not in a meeting.
You're just sharing a moment.
That's why small talk is such a powerful training ground.
Every short conversation is practice.
Every simple sentence builds momentum.
And momentum is what changes your relationship with English.
Let's look at another real situation.
You're walking into the office in the morning.
You see a coworker you recognize, but you don't talk often.
You don't need a big opening.
You can say something simple. Morning.
They say morning.
You add one comment. Feels like it's going to be a long day.
Pause. They might smile and say, yeah, definitely. And that's enough.
You didn't force anything.
You didn't overshare.
You just showed that you're approachable.
That's what people remember.
Not your grammar, not your accent.
Your energy.
Now let's talk about a mistake many learners make.
They try to prepare perfect sentences in their head.
And while they're thinking, the moment passes.
Small talk happens fast.
You don't have time to translate.
That's why short, flexible sentences work best.
Sentences like, looks busy today.
Or, that meeting was long.
Or, this week flew by.
These lines fit many situations.
You can reuse them again and again.
Native speakers do this all the time.
They don't invent new sentences every day. They recycle simple language.
And that's what makes them sound fluent.
Fluency is not variety, it's ease.
Let's hear another short conversation. Imagine this happens near the elevator.
Busy day today.
Yeah, non-stop since morning.
That last meeting ran long.
It really did.
Anyway, I'll let you go. Catch up later.
That's it.
No stress, no pressure. Just normal workplace English.
And that's what most conversations at work really sound like.
You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to impress anyone.
You just need to be present.
Now here's something important we want you to remember.
If English feels hard at work, it's not because you're bad at English.
It's because no one taught you these small habits.
Once you understand them, everything changes.
The fear gets smaller.
The confidence grows.
And speaking becomes normal, not stressful.
In a moment, we'll wrap everything up. But before we do, think about this.
The next